We met at that first night, and I had to tell everybody about the current state, the current reality of our school districts and our buildings. And what has driven this whole process is the reality that for us to make competitive 21st century buildings over the next 30 years, you are talking about a $61 million investment. We cannot go spending that type of money without having the community's input on a long-range plan. The theme from that you're going to hear multiple times from me tonight, doing nothing is not an option. Community Engagement 2 spoke about how we need to develop a plan that is going to help us sell our community in a mobile world. Once again, a reminder. It's not 1955, it's not 1965 where people get a job and work in the same community. We are competing with surrounding communities to attract individuals to choose Jacksonville and the Jacksonville surrounding area. And schools, they're your most major factor in that choice. People travel to go to work. We want them to live here and invest in our community. And at the end of that night, well, in both those two sessions, I gave a little bit of a history lesson. I'll just summarize it by, and I was going to ask, how many people have actually gone online to JSD117.org under the Vision 117 and watched any of the videos from myself or either? You did a good job of watching the first one, because the hits on YouTube on that are like 550. The hits on the last two, I don't know if their counters off, are under 10. And I think there's 10 people in the central office that watched it. So I highly suggest to talk to people in the community, not just about my presentation, but about Sam Johnson's presentation, giving all the data about our buildings and the feedback that we received from every community engagement night. But the history lesson, Jack, in summary, at its highest, at its greatest time, Jacksonville wasn't just great to Jacksonville community members. We weren't just great to people in the state of Illinois. We weren't just great to the Midwest. We were great nationally because we were one of the most progressive educational communities in the country. And we stayed that way for 130 years. I just found out a new one. You can probably catch me on this if I'm wrong. 1830, the first female organization designed at providing scholarships and scholarships and educational opportunities for women, formed in Jacksonville, Illinois. The longest lasting female educational opportunity organization in Jacksonville, Illinois. It's just another add-on that I keep finding more and more about how wonderful this community was about education. But somewhere along the line, 20 to 40 years ago, we got stagnant. We need to revitalize Jacksonville by revisiting our past. That's a catchphrase. Let's revitalize Jacksonville by revisiting our past. To be progressive about education and make this the place that people will say, I want to live there. The third community engagement night, I gave a discussion about our current economic realities, not about facilities like in the first one, but seriously about some limitations we have had to face that have helped place our buildings in the current state that they are in. If you have any questions, and if you've ever said, how did it get so bad? Please, if you were not here, watch that third community engagement night discussion. It explains it in detail. Okay. Your input from community engagement nights 1 and 2 helped us create the scenarios that we gave to you in community engagement night 3. In 1 and 2, you talked to us about how do you want people to view Jacksonville? We gave you the scenarios in Community Engagement Night 3, and you voted on which ones you were most fond of. Your input was so important because we took that input and we developed our phone poll that we gave out to the voting, registered voters who voted in the last election. We gave them questions based upon the scenarios that you provided input on for us. Now, how many people got a phone poll call? Okay, that's a point that's important. There could be 200 people in this room. We got data from 300 people, 300 registered voters. 4 of them are in this room. What does that kind of tell you percentage-wise about the reality of if anything goes to a vote? There's a whole other realm of people out there that we had to get input from about what they will support. And you're going to see the results tonight. You're going to get the results from the first 3 community engagement sessions, from the phone polling. We've got our needs assessment, and tonight you are going to get all that information and merge it all together to help us develop a final plan that will be beneficial for our kids, help this community economically grow, and will be supported by the complete community. We've done a lot of dreaming. Tonight's a talk about reality. I can't thank you enough for being here. I have a special shout out to give, and that is to our co-chair from the community, Mike Oldenettle. I cannot thank him enough. He worked with the Illinois Realtors Association. And the Illinois Realtors Association has a vested interest in community development and community growth. So they have a political wing, a political arm that helps promote local growth. They funded our phone polling, the Illinois Realtors Association. So I want everybody to understand it was not a cost to the district. So thank you, Mike. And you're going to see tonight how important that was. So without any further delay, Mike's going to come up here and give you some very important information and some very important data. Thank you very much for being here.